beforehand, too, which seeded the garden for when we had a hit song.
Sure.
It was a hit song in 24 countries.
For years, people thought they knew the story, that Richie Sambora just disappeared, leaving John Bon Jovi and the band hanging. But what if that version was completely wrong? What if the real story isn't about betrayal, but about what happens when success slowly turns you into something you don't recognize anymore? Richie Sambora didn't just wake up one day and decide to burn everything down. By the time he finally spoke out at 66, the silence had already stretched longer than most bands even last.
John was moving into a place where he wanted to not really be a band.
What really caught people off guard wasn't rage or bitterness. It was how steady and calm he sounded while saying it. No yelling, no messy blame game, just a quiet truth that the partnership everyone thought was rock solid had actually been breaking apart for years. Way before that night, he disappeared in Calgary. Richard grew up in a small house in Woodbridge Township, New Jersey, where nothing came easy and nothing ever went to waste. His father worked long, exhausting factory shifts, while his mother kept offices running like clockwork.
We said yes a lot to mostly everything. And
life there was strict, Catholic, working class, and loud in that real, everyday way neighborhoods built on hard work always are. Music didn't start as some big dream for him. It was more like an escape hatch. Classical records played around the house and folk songs floated through the air, but rock music hit him differently. It stirred something deeper in his chest. When he was just 6 years old, he stumbled across his father's hidden jazz records, especially Wes Montgomery. He would listen in secret, soaking up every note without even understanding why it mattered so much. That smooth, thumb-picked sound stuck with him and quietly reshaped how he heard everything before he even picked up a guitar himself.
I probably would have left earlier. I might have left a couple albums before, because...
Then came the mid-'70s, when Kiss exploded onto his TV screen, and just like that, something inside him clicked into place for good. The makeup, the fire, the raw noise, it wasn't just music. It felt like permission to be something bigger. He begged for a guitar and then locked himself away for hours every single day, teaching himself through pure obsession instead of lessons. No teachers, no easy path, just non-stop repetition and grit. At 14, he even stepped away from school for a while to play with local punk bands, chasing any stage that would have him, even the ones ready to chew him up.
Easy stuff.
Yeah.
And you're just going about your daily job, basically.
Those crowds were rough, unpredictable, and the pay was basically nothing. But the lessons hit hard and stayed with him. Rock music wasn't clean or safe. It demanded everything, and if you weren't ready, it exposed you fast. His first paid gig happened in a bar where fights broke out right in the middle of his solo, and still he didn't stop playing. He stood there shaken but locked in, running on instinct alone. That night showed him exactly what live music really is. Pure chaos, somehow held together by rhythm. By the time he hit his late teens, he was grinding harder than most grown adults, building bands, starting small hustles, and figuring out the business side before any real success came his way. Failure kept showing up. Bands fell apart, gear broke down, and deals disappeared along with the money. But every time, he didn't fold. He adjusted and kept moving. By the early 80s, he was still in the grind when he stepped up to audition for Kiss. For a second, it really felt like destiny was lining everything up. And then it flipped. They turned him down, saying he was too bluesy, too full of soul. That rejection hit hard, but at the same time, it set him free. Instead of chasing someone else's style, he doubled down on his own sound. And that decision changed everything in a big way. Then came one humid night in 1983 when he walked into a small club after a show and saw John Bon Jovi up on stage. When Richie jumped in and started playing, the whole room shifted instantly. You could feel it. Something real clicked right there in front of everyone. The chemistry wasn't forced. It was immediate, like it had been waiting to happen. The very next day, they were already writing together in John's mother's house, putting together songs that would go on to define an entire generation. From the outside, it looked like the perfect match. John had the vision and drive, always pushing forward, while Richie brought melody, edge, and real emotional weight to the sound. Together, they built something powerful, an engine that just wouldn't slow down. Albums started dropping fast, tours moved even faster, and the pressure kept building without a break. Even early on, Richie was already pushing himself past his limits. He once collapsed on stage from exhaustion and still got up to finish the set. Painkillers slowly entered the picture, masked as a way to keep going, because fame rewarded endurance, not balance. When Slippery When Wet exploded, it locked Bon Jovi into a non-stop climb that never let up. Richie co-wrote anthems that hit so hard because they came from real life, working-class stories filled with fear, hope, and truth. That honesty connected with people everywhere, but at the same time, it started to box him in. The machine never slowed down. One tour stacked on top of another, studio sessions stretched into sleepless nights, and success stopped feeling like a win. It turned into an obligation.
Instead of me walking into, a place where I was just drinking too much, I needed to get my life together.
His personal life started taking heavy hits. Marriage, fatherhood, and his health were all fighting for space against a schedule that never let up. When his daughter Ava was born, he missed moments he could never get back, and that stayed with him. The guilt didn't fade. He kept it buried, hiding addiction behind performances that looked flawless from the outside. Rehab came and went. Albums kept selling, and the audience had no idea what it was really costing him. By the time the band moved into the 90s, the cracks weren't hidden anymore. They were right there under the surface. Creative tension started getting sharper. Richie wanted more blues, more space, more feeling in the music, while John pushed for momentum and bigger energy. Both sides made sense, and both were completely worn out. Solo projects gave Richie a bit of breathing room, but they also made one thing clear. He felt stuck inside what he later described as a corporation, not a band. And then, in 2012, the real break started quietly. Richie came back expecting things to feel the same, ready to write like he always had. But instead, he walked into something completely different. 30 songs had already been written without him. Then came the moment that really hit. He was told not to worry about songwriting anymore. No big argument, no loud fallout, just a quiet push to the side that said everything without saying much at all. After 3 decades of building music together, that kind of silence felt colder than any fight ever could. The sound didn't feel like his anymore. The process wasn't his, and the bond he thought could never break suddenly felt conditional. Then came Calgary in 2013, and everything shifted fast. Just hours before a sold-out show, Richie was gone. No message, no warning, nothing. John stood alone in front of 20,000 people, asking the crowd for support while confusion spread through the arena. Rumors took off instantly, spinning every kind of story. For years, people framed it as him walking away without looking back. But the truth was heavier than that. Richie had gone to be with his daughter. She needed him, and for once, he chose family without checking in with the machine first. That decision changed everything. The silence that followed only made the gap wider. Weeks turned into years, and the apologies came later, both in public and behind the scenes. When the documentary finally showed Richie admitting he handled things wrong, people saw something you don't usually get. Real accountability without the drama. No excuses, no performance, just honesty. John was hurt, and Richie didn't deny that for a second. He understood it, but at the same time, he didn't regret his choice, because to him, the other option meant losing himself completely. Life after Bon Jovi wasn't louder or bigger. It got smaller, quieter. And that was exactly the point. He built a different kind of life. He got married again, created a relationship based on real creativity instead of pressure, and started writing music without deadlines hanging over him. He made dozens of songs on his own terms, toured in a way that actually felt human, and showed up for his daughter in ways he couldn't before. The spotlight faded a bit, but so did the weight on his shoulders. By the time he opened up at 66, this wasn't a story about betrayal. It was about survival in a system that never stops pushing. He never denied the legacy of Bon Jovi. He helped create it. Over 100 million records don't happen without his sound all over them. But he admitted something deeper. After years of non-stop motion, he started to feel less like an artist and more like a replaceable piece in a machine. Walking away cost him a lot: money, relevance, certainty. But it gave him something he couldn't buy back: time. Looking back, he didn't call it a feud, he called it survival. He owned his mistakes, admitted he'd disappeared when he shouldn't have, but made it clear he chose peace over pressure and presence over applause. Rumors still pop up about reunions, about returns, but he doesn't shut the door with anger. He closes it calmly, because the truth he shared isn't explosive. It's real life. Sometimes the boldest move isn't getting louder. It's knowing when to step away before everything loses meaning. If you made it this far, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe. What do you think? Did Richie make the right call walking away? Or should he have stayed and fought it out? See you in the next video.